You're listening to the Light Over Time podcast with David Sargent and Korey Bartos. It is February 28th, hopefully nearing the winter as snow is coming down again and we're getting a little burst of it, but I'm hoping this is the last stretch. How you doing, David?
I'm all right. We had my car's thermometer read 50 degrees yesterday, and we were loving it. It felt like spring, and then today 14.
Yep. Yeah.
Right, but the rivers were flowing down the streets, and then today you were crunching on those rivers because they were so icy.
Yeah, it's brutal. But that's Michigan. We'll hopefully get through it soon. Everybody hang in there. So we have a fun show today. We did a giveaway, a small, modest giveaway with Vallerret gloves that we'll talk about, including a photo share, which we got a decent amount of photos, so it'll be cool to talk about. I have a couple bird photos to share. David has some stuff. He'll kick off kind of the photo share in a little bit. I want to give a shout out to my good buddy Ryan because he released last night his mini doc. It's more like an actual doc. It's like a 30-minute documentary.
I need to watch this. I'm going to watch it tonight.
It's so good. It's called In the Shadow of Giants. I'll tag it in this episode. He worked really, really hard on it. He was completely out of his element. It's basically like a really interesting, like outback, like in the middle of nowhere, Australia hunt that he went on with these guys. If I remember correctly, he was using his FX6 and an FX3, and it's pretty. It's a little different than really, really high budget stuff, but there's nothing about it that's like low budget feeling. It's really well done. It's awesome. I've watched it probably 4 or 5 times now total because I watched some of the early cuts, and then I had access to some of the footage to play with because I wanted to and whatnot. But super cool. As far as I know, it was mainly produced and made by him and an editor. I don't know who else was involved in like actually producing the project altogether, but as far as the video production, it was nobody, which is sweet. It's really cool to see what people can do nowadays if they get plopped into a really cool scenario and all that. But anyway, very cool stuff. He's a really good dude, and go check it out because it's not easy to get that stuff seen on YouTube these days.
No kidding.
Yeah, he had run it out of theater in Arizona in I think November, and had like a whole premiere and everything, which was really cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was his first big released documentary, so he went pretty gnarly with it, and it turned out pretty good, and it was really rad. In other news, there's a lot of wild lens things happening right now.
No kidding. Yes.
There's a lot of wild lens things happening with you. You've made some decisions after some of our conversation. I'm really, really surprised that Tamron sent the 35 to 100 to like 8 people. I cannot find information on that lens. I want to see.
It seemed to be a very selective few.
I want to see more, and it's like there's like 3 legitimate reviews, and then there's like a handful of shorts from some creators, but like nobody covered this lens.
Do you think Nikon said, no, we're going to make a Nikon version and we're going to send that version out to people soon?
I don't know. I don't personally care because I don't shoot Nikon, so it doesn't affect me, but super, super interesting because it's relatively short. It's relatively light. I think it's like 575 grams. It's 12 centimeters long. So pretty small.
I mean, on the last episode, we were literally reading rumor specs, right? And it's out now. Yeah, or at least it's in the hands of some people and available for order, I think.
Pre-order. It's going to be at the end of March is when it's going to ship. But for $8.99, it's really, really hard for me not to want that over the 28 to 70 that I was considering getting because I still have my 50 mil, right? Yeah. So anyway, I think it's going to have a lot of utility for me, and I'm pretty excited about it. Now, what do you think, if you've looked at any of this stuff, about all the really weird focal length zooms that all these Chinese companies are coming out with? Or like, they're like teasing like they might do. There's like the Schneider one, there's a couple Samyang ones, there's a couple there's like a 60 to 180 f2.8 that somebody's making. There's actually a bunch. and they all like started being talked about now, and it's all Chinese stuff. It's not like it's. I mean, some of it seems interesting. That 20 to 50 seems kind of cool, but
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure we touched on this towards the end of the last episode where
and then there was more. Then there's like 3 more that was like teased.
well, I mean, I don't know if I manifested it because I said I think this will be the year for
Right.
interesting third-party lenses, especially in the zoom range. And here we are. So I'm by summertime, what are we even going to be looking at? Because if all this stuff releases before summertime, I still think we've got a ways to go. Maybe even first party is going to start, coming down with some cool stuff because it's not long now that we've got to wait for this third party stuff that seemingly is pretty rad.
Yeah, I mean, and some of it's rad, but some of it's weird. Like I don't.
I'm okay with weird though. If it's third party, they can do what they want to do.
60 to 180 feels fine.
Yeah. Who was that? I saw that.
I think it was a Samyang.
I think you're right.
If I were to venture a guess, I'd have to pull it up again, but.
And then I just watched Philip Bloom's review of the A7 IV today, and he was using a Samyang. What was it, a 35 to 150 as well?
Yeah, they've had that.
I didn't know that.
It was just like the Tamron design,
The
basically.
2 to 2.8, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't realize that Samyang basically was like, oh, we can do that too.
Yeah. And I'm not sure how
I don't know why I haven't heard about it much.
Because it's Samyang. There's just
made it work.
Well, sure, yeah, I'm sure it's fine. I just don't think a lot of the YouTuber people or any of the people that we probably are like running in our circles often use the Samyang stuff.
Yeah.
I rarely saw Rokinon when I was still even looking and flirting with their cine lenses, their manual cine lenses. So
yeah, I'm not really sure what the relationship is. I thought that was more or less like a U.S. versus Chinese branding thing for Rokinon versus Samyang.
Well, yeah, either brand, you don't see a lot. I think like Kai does some occasionally, depending, but yeah, it's very strange.
I wanted to mention that because I want to give Samyang a little bit of credit there because we had talked about what Samyang could do to be competitive, and my surprise, I didn't realize they had released that lens, and that's pretty cool because if Tamron gets all the praise for the same design, they should get a little bit of credit for that. So,
yeah, it's super interesting. I mean, I was obviously really, really into the idea of it, but after then the 28 to 105 came out, and that was so large that I was like, man,
yeah,
the 35 to 150 is cool, but for the like non really really solid
look at this thing, chunker.
Which one is that?
28 to 105.
Oh yeah. It's just kind of big when like the 2.8 standard zoom is never the most inspiring lens. It's usually the tool for the job a lot of the time. My cats are driving me crazy right now. They're screaming and like I think Jacob's gonna knock my computer and he's gonna break something while I'm trying to shoot this episode. And yeah, well, don't scream at me. And then he's so weird. I don't know what their problem is. Sorry. Yeah, he's annoying. But yeah, so I just realized very quickly that just because it's the tool for the job often, if it's not inspiring to me, then the tool for the job doesn't get in the bag.
Yeah,
because it's just a little too large. And
yes, I can speak to that as an owner of a ZF and a Z8. I often leave the Z8 when I could bring the Z8 for what's pretty much going to be better image quality. But no, the ZF is what inspires me to shoot more often.
Yeah, for sure. And if it's me packing a bag for a trip and I can fit the 28 to 70 because it's tiny, it's like smaller than my 50 mil G Master, because I'm not going to say no to my 50 and I'm not going to say no to my 70 to 200, then if I have this third lens all of a sudden that I can't say no to, but I actually want to, but it's my only standard zoom, I just know that that's not for me.
Yeah.
Because if it's going to be a shot that I really care about, I'm going to put way sharper glass on it. If it's something that like I'm going to do for somebody professionally, that's not an event photo. Because like event photos, there's a lot more, you get a little bit more freedom for quality, let's say. Mm-hmm. But if you're trying to do anything commercial, or if you're trying to do product photography or what have you, it's often not the 28 to 105 was cool because the 105 2.8's awesome. you really start to press into like having the type of separation that like a 50 mil or something can get you. You're much closer.
Yeah, I
But
was
again,
considering the 105-28 for Nikon.
oh yeah, I just meant on the 28 to 105 as far
Oh,
as
sure,
the
sure.
as far as the zoom goes. Like you can get there, so it's cool. But again, it's just so big. So that's
Yeah.
kind of my idea with the 35 to 100 is it is smaller, so I can just take it as like my do-all. I usually need the standard zoom for video more than I need it for photo, but I care about photos often more than I care about video in a lot of cases. Video ends up being secondary for my work,
Mm-hmm.
um, even though like it needs to be primary, but it's just so grueling. Um, so I'd rather have really fast glass for photos, and then I'm really comfortable with a 2.8 zoom on a full frame for video.
Yeah.
And the size of that is great. I'm hoping that 100 2.8 will still get me there for some of the stuff that I need. And for walking around, 35 is my goat. So if it's fully zoomed out at 35, man, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
Anyway, the cats hopefully are calming down. They just bolted everywhere. But yeah, other than that lens being exciting, we don't have a lot of rumblings from the first party yet. We could still see a new Sony body this year. I've been kind of holding out hope on 100 to 400s from Sony.
Yeah, I mean, Nikon did just release the 70 to 200 2.8S version 2, which is a big deal because that was what 6 years in the making or so.
Thing.
But again, you want to talk about uninspiring purchases at $3,200,
Yeah.
and with nothing innovative, but that lens wasn't really going to do it. We knew that ahead of time. So
Yeah. It is exactly what it needs to be. And it's
yeah,
gonna sell well. Like there's 7200 is legendary. Like 135 and 200 mil 2.8 is something I use all the time when I have it.
yeah.
But I always forget about it, and then
I was happy to see that they shaved a bunch of weight off. I think if I ever get into the 70 to 200 market in Nikon, I probably would pick up the first one and be all right with it, because like, what's the difference if you're already in that space anyway? If you're somebody who uses the 70 to 200 a lot and you realize like it's just a little too heavy, then there you go. There's a good option. But it's nice to see. It's basically optically perfect. Nikon's been good at that lately, more so than Sony, making those optically correct lenses first, and it's a winner, I guess, but it's expensive.
Yeah, for sure. And a little less utility for say like a travel lens for you. For me, the 70 to 200 is like I can't bring my 200 to 600, so I'll grab a teleconverter in the 70 to 200. I assume you'd be less apt to do that because you have a 500 that's like relatively small.
Yeah.
So like you're like, okay, well, am I going to bring that in the teleconverter, or do I just bring like the prime that I'm already going to shoot in my 500 because like Lord knows that's what's going to get taken out.
Right.
And it's just so freaking bomb. Like you talk about the quality difference between the teleconverter on a 70 to 200 versus like a good long zoom. Forget about it if you're comparing it to that 500. Like it's just not going to be close.
For sure. I did think it was interesting. One small note on that 70 to 200, that they put the what do they call it? The ring. It's not an aperture ring, but like a control ring.
Yeah.
They added a click feature to the control ring so that you can simulate an aperture ring feel, which I think is interesting. But then you can customize it to whatever you want. I think that's a nice little in between.
Yeah, they should just have aperture rings, but.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really disagree, but it does look like a lens that offers a lot of customization. I think it was like 3 different function buttons on it or something like that.
Yeah, it's cool.
Just pretty nice.
Yeah, the pro features are nice. I think for me the having the option is like a necessity at this point because I'm always shooting fast in aperture priority. So having that clicky is super huge. So that would be mega welcome for, if I was a potential buyer.
Yeah.
I actually don't know a whole lot of people that shoot like that, which is surprising to me because it's kind of everything, but whatever.
If you would like, I can talk about some of the purchases that I made.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay. Well, I showed you the 28 to 105 here. This guy was giving me some trouble. We talked about that on the last episode. As much as I love it, and I really love it, like if I had any Sony body, I would not be getting rid of it. It is big.
To re-clarify for those listening, having issues with the Megadap adapter on his Nikons.
Yes, the lens is totally fine.
Yeah.
It's just that when I was shooting Railjam, just the disconnection with that adapter and my camera, and maybe there was some firmware stuff that I could look into, but I just the trouble of it was I don't want to worry, you know.
Once it happens, your faith gets lost
Yes.
and you're like, well, if I can't,
I need to trust the system, and I can't. The
brutal.
lens I totally trust, and if I had a Sony body, I would rock it for a long time.
Yeah.
So, that being said, it is for sale. I do have a couple people who are interested, but it is still for sale. And I went ahead and pulled the trigger on a native Z mount standard zoom. It isn't a 28-105 because that doesn't exist, unfortunately. But the day before the 35-100 released, I pulled the trigger on Tamron's 28-75.
Yep.
And I'm not unhappy with that. It is, well, I think it's like 550 or 575 grams or something like that. So nearly half the weight of this. This is not light. And it's almost, I would say, maybe like not quite half the length, maybe like 2/3 of the length, and a little bit, just a little bit smaller all around. So it's so much more balanced on the ZF. It feels really great. The only thing I hate is that the zoom the rings are reversed.
Yep.
It feels so goofy.
Yeah, it's annoying. That's the bane of Tamron, but
why do they?
Yeah, I don't. Are you using it on your Z8 right now for the show?
Yes. So if you're looking at me on YouTube, you're seeing me at about 35 on the Z8 with the Tamron.
Weird. Same.
Yeah. So I've been enjoying it, although I just used it for something kind of fun today. And I did some test shots with it, and I found some interesting things. So I don't know why I didn't really notice some of the red flags before. And maybe there's something that I could have done in body but I looked and I saw like my corrections were turned on and things, but the comparison between this 28-105 adapted versus the Tamron at 28 especially, the vignetting is quite horrible. And the Sigma 28 looked wider. And I'm thinking that's because you've got like an extra couple of millimeters between the flange and the lens. I'm not really sure with the adapter width. But it looked I don't know, like if Tamron's 28 is 28, it looked like the Sigma was like 26. Sure. I'm not sure.
That's interesting. I don't think that it would affect the I don't think it'd give you a wider effect based off the flange, but I would have assumed the opposite. I would have assumed the Tamron would have been slightly wider with much worse vignette, but that was my main criticism with the 17-28 was that the vignette at 17 was insane.
Well, happily I can say the Tamron's 28's by comparison, there was no vignetting at 28 at Super,
okay.
Which is nice. The only thing I can think is maybe with the Megadap adapter, corrections turned on weren't actually correcting anything. Maybe it was just like not actually being able to pull in information, do corrections, and put it on the image. And then maybe there are corrections with the Tamron because I left them on for both lenses. So I'm thinking maybe in-body corrections weren't being applied correctly. And I noticed
that's probably likely.
And I think that is the case because in the last couple of landscape shots I've done with like Lake Superior, so like a flat horizon, I've noticed quite a bit of bowing distortion on the Sigma. And I'm thinking that since I have adapted it, perhaps I've never seen in the corrections, the way they should have been applied. And with the Tamron, all the lines were nice and straight. As opposed to the Sigma being bowed in my test shots. So I'm thinking that's the case.
If I'm knowing this correctly, maybe I'm just like completely, this is like a void in my knowledge. I don't believe the Sigma on the Sony is applying corrections to the Sony image. Because that's why I didn't like the 28-105, because in video I noticed the bowing. And 28 bowing too much for me in video when I'm using it a lot at 28 is brutal.
Yeah.
But maybe they can, because Tamron actually works with the Z mount a little bit. Maybe there's something there. I'd have to look into it, but I don't think at least the Sony can apply corrections. So I don't know that the Nikon would be able to apply sigma
That's
corrections.
interesting because I just don't remember it being as big of a deal on the Sony than when I did my test shots, because it was pretty noticeable. But then again, you're pixel peeping and looking A to B and looking back and forth. So I was picking it apart. But I'm happy to say the Tamron, very very nice. Like optically, like sharpness where it matters is very similar, which is good because the Sigma is quite sharp too.
And you were saying the Sigma was vignetting?
The Sigma was vignetting hard.
Okay, I thought you were saying the Tamron was vignetting originally, and you corrected me, but I just wanted to clarify.
Maybe I misspoke, but no.
No, I don't think you did. I just was mishearing, but that's good.
So I'll get a more reliable system because it's native, better vignette control, no distortion from what I can tell. So I'm happy with the decision. Yeah, I miss out between 75 and 105, and at times I lived between 75 and 105, and that's just something I got to deal with. But at the benefit of cutting the weight in half,
yeah,
it's serious.
Yeah, and you're shooting primes a lot of the time, so it's like.
And if we want to talk about primes, we can.
Yeah. It's just probably a lot more nice to run a prime on your ZF, for instance, and then have the 28 to 75 on your other body, and you can have that in a bag if you're doing like a YouTube video or whatever you're doing. It's cool.
I mean, I do a lot of I'd walk around a lot with the camera, not having a plan, just to go out and shoot. And so when you don't know what you're going to run into, it's nice to have the standard zoom.
Yeah.
And having the 28 to 75 feel nice and balanced on the ZF is going to make that a lot better, a lot more enjoyable to use. I never really enjoyed having the 28 to 105 on the ZF like ever. That lens feels better balanced on the Z8. The Z8's just a little bit bigger.
For sure.
So having a standard zoom feel nicer on the ZF will be a little more inspiring in that case.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
However, I'm not done. I also ordered the Viltrox
big baller
85-1.4 Pro, and not that big a baller because the 85-1.4 Pro is only like $500.
Oh, nice.
Which is great to have an 85-1.4. I again just used it tonight, basically for the first time. This came in the mail like 3 days ago, maybe. It's immaculate, a metal design. This aperture ring. Listen to this. So clicky. This aperture ring is the clickiest clicky aperture ring I've ever felt. It's wonderful. So I was doing a shoot with my wife, and just like a couple hours ago, and I used both the Tamron and the 85, and both lenses had a super easy time finding the face, then finding the eye, and then being as sticky as I've ever seen it, which is really cool. And I would like better scenarios for both of these lenses to test like sharpness and look at like clarity of the glass and whatnot. But I was happy with the performance of both those lenses. We got some cool images. Yeah, so both of these lenses. So I've got 85, I've got 28 to 75, and I have one more lens that's supposed to come in the mail. And
tell us about that.
I'll tell you about it. I bought all of these lenses at the same time, okay? The 28 to 75 came first, and it came on time. The 85 millimeter came a little bit late, like a day or two late. Whatever, that's fine. I bought all of these on Amazon. And the 135 lab lens from Viltrox is not here yet. And I have gone through the ringer with USPS and and Amazon, and neither of them were able to tell me where this package was. USPS was like, yo, they seem to have made a label, but nobody has it. And Amazon was like, it went here and here and here and here, and it actually should be at your place like tomorrow. Just wait, just like another day, we promise. And the tracking number linked back to USPS, who knew nothing. So I was not confident I was actually getting the lens. And so I actually chatted with Amazon twice. The second time I was like, hey, I went to the post office where you said it was hanging out for a week, and it ain't there. So let's just cancel this order, and they will be processing my refund, and I will be ordering it again probably from B&H because they have a copy for actually a little bit less money.
Nice.
So that's cool. I am excited to use that lens because the lab lens is actually supposed to be like their most optically superior lineup of lenses,
Yeah.
and the Pro is, I mean, the 85-1.4 Pro feels nice, but I would be very interested to see that optical difference,
Yeah.
especially put up on the Z8 side by side with the 85, and even maybe the Tamron, and do like a side by side and see, like, in the best conditions, what am I actually looking at here? Because the 135 is not cheap. It's almost it's like twice as much as the 85-1.4.
Right.
But ever since you came with me on that fall workshop and you took that shot of me with your Sony 135, I just fell in love with that look.
Dude, 135 1.8 is so sick.
Yeah.
It's insanely sick.
And
Super underrated. Can't believe people don't talk about it more.
Yeah, I mean, I got to walk around with my buddy Trent's 105 2.5. It's an old AI Nikon lens, and I was like, "This is cool. This feel like the type of images you get at that kind of focal length, and that's all you're playing with. You're not in a zoom. It forces you to really think in a different way, and I really enjoyed that. So I thought, you know what? Let's just pull the trigger on this 135, and that'll be like, I've got 135 or I've got 500. So I'm going to live, around that, and I'll be happy with that. I would just love to have it.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been so frustrated just waiting. It was supposedly sitting in my local post office on Monday, and today is what, Saturday?
Yeah.
So
brutal.
yeah, so I mean, if it shows up, I gotta send it back and then wait for the other one. But whatever, I'll live, I guess. But I've got two lenses to play with. I'm very, very excited to get some projects in the mix, and I actually have been. I did use the Tamron for one project we can talk about later. But yeah, that's me right now. I'm loving it.
That's awesome. I'm really excited to see what you do with the 135. I don't know what the minimal focusing distance is on the Viltrox, but it'll be interesting because there's so much that I was enjoying doing. I think products are awesome with it. I think portraits are awesome with it. Some of my favorite photos I've ever taken. I was second shooting that wedding for you, and it was epic. So it's just so good. The freaking Sony one renders so nicely, but the freaking I don't know if I talked about it in the last episode, but that freaking front element is so big that like the plastic ring is so susceptible to breaking, and mine broke, and I had it professionally replaced by Sony. I'm a pro support member, and I actually traded that for my first 200 to 600 that I ended up selling when I was out in Florida and all that stuff. But yeah, so that'll be really, really cool.
I think for things like Rail Jam and for things like the dog sled races where like the dogs come too close for the 500 and I can quickly switch over to the 135, I think that will be so nice.
Yeah, for sure. It's legendary.
I did forget to say, as I was doing some testing with the Tamron versus Sigma, you mentioned close focus. The Tamron has an insane close focus.
Sure.
It's like 13 centimeters at 28 millimeters. It's like nothing. It's crazy. I'm not sure. I don't think it was as crazy of a difference at the longest ends for both of those lenses, but I was like nearly touching at 28. It was weird.
I'd be curious to see what the close focus for 105 is, because I'm sure they probably optimized it for close focusing at 105 and not 28 for that particular lens, because it would have made more sense too.
You're probably right, and that's the way I like to use it sometimes.
Yeah.
So I found that to be fun. But
yeah. I mean, that was the thing with the Sony GM 70-200 when it came out, is it was the first 70-200 that had like a 3 meter minimum focusing distance, which is like mad close for 70-200.
You mean 3 feet?
3 feet or 3 meter. I don't know whichever
3
one
meters
it is.
Like 9 feet.
Yeah, but like 70-200s have really far minimum focusing distance. So it's one of those two numbers, but it was the first one to do it.
Because I remember my Tamron using it, or my original Tamron to 70-200 using it fairly close.
Let's look, but Sony
70-200 sounds crazy.
I mean, yeah, but it's Garbo. Minimum focus distance. I just know that it was short as heck. So What do we got here? Offering the closest. So the new one is a half a meter. Yeah, so that's one and a
Okay,
half. So 3.15 feet on the Mark One.
that
Yeah,
sounds right.
but yeah, super close, right? So and you don't know how nice that is until, especially when I was a little bit more green on my experience with lenses.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, whatever you have to do to get close to something. It doesn't matter if it's wide, long, it doesn't really matter. You
Yeah.
don't really understand the difference between a macro and just really close up on like a wide angle lens or whatever the
Right.
heck. But once you start really, it took until getting into video for me to realize like how much of the perspective I wanted to control with certain things. And then being able to do that with the 70-200 was insane.
Yeah, I think Chris Nichols took a look at that ability on the Nikon 7200 version 2 video they just did, and he was like next to like was like a fake wolf or something like that, and I was like shocked at how close he was getting, both at the short end and the long end.
Yeah.
It looks pretty performative.
Yeah, that's sweet. That's sweet that they can do that. I didn't realize that it was so short on the at 70, so I'll have to play with that on mine. I haven't really pushed that lens to its limits lately.
Mm.
I can move into. We can get into this kind of begin the photo share segment. I have a couple of things to share. Then we can get into Rail Jam, and then we can get into the Wintry photos if you'd like.
Sure.
All right, let's get in here. So, in the last 2 weeks, I've been incredibly fortunate. Let me screen share so you can see what we're doing.
Yeah, let me see what we're doing.
I can get into window for Lightroom. So I've been insanely fortunate in this last week that I've seen two very cool owls.
Oh yeah,
And I've been able to spend some time with them, and it has been awesome. So I very quickly exported these, so they're not going to be very high quality, unfortunately.
That's all right.
But so we saw a screech owl first at one of our local spots, and we weren't sure we were going to see him. People saw him earlier in the day, and we're just walking around, walking back and forth, starting to feel kind of whatever. And then I'm almost certain he was not in this hole, like he wasn't poking out of it. And then all of a sudden, he poked out. And so we got a couple shots. I got a little video snippet with some birds like flying around him, which was cool.
Now these guys are pretty small, right? This
Super small. Like
what would you say?
Like in my hand, small. Like
Okay.
like smaller than my cats for sure. Like really really small.
Yeah.
Maybe slightly bigger than a robin.
Look at his little tuft like hanging over the tree line too.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, he looks like he just woke up and is like,
yeah.
Can you guys stop talking, please?
Oh my god.
So that was really cool. I was kind of hoping to get a little bit more action from him, but it was what it was. And then this last weekend, I got my first barred owl on camera. Both of these were lifers for me, by the way.
Yeah.
But I got some real good. This guy did not care about us at all. So we tried to not stress him out or anything, but we moved around a bit so we could try and get as close as possible. And just, he was facing away. It was wild when we finally spotted him and we're like, wow, we did not see this dude at all. His back feathers blend so well into just sticks and nonsense that it's like, you can be looking at him, and if you like blink sometimes you'll be like, wait, where is he?
Right, and they're so still, right?
Yeah.
Like, just like sometimes when I'm out looking for birds, my instinct is just to watch for movement, but these guys are really good at not moving.
They don't move, and he wasn't calling or anything. We just knew that he was spotted earlier in the day, and I don't know if it's the exact same one, but Elle has gotten a barred owl here at Fenner in the same location like a year ago. So they live around here, and it was just like she knew kind of where to start and look, and then we found him. And I got some really nice, like it was really cool to be up in here like this. This is epic.
I love it.
We got a handful of shots I was really happy about, but there was still like little twigs in front because he was actually turning his head around because we were actually to his back all the way on the trail. And then we kind of snuck into this path. It's actually funny. I don't have the photos here. You can, if you go look at the post on Instagram, there's like a photo of Elle like in the woods, and then there's like a little baby 6-point that like walked right up on her while she was looking at the owl, and he was like, "Wait, what are we doing?" And then I like looked at him and I took a photo, and he was like, "Oh, sorry," and he just like moseyed away. I was like, that was so weird. The owl didn't seem to care. He was like, "Hey, what's going on, dude?"
Wow.
So it was cool. We spent probably 20 minutes at least with this guy.
Oh, that's awesome. You guys have had great luck with owls, and it's half luck because you're putting in the work to find them. But
Yeah.
just by comparison, my luck is junk.
I'd like to see the snowy again. We haven't seen our short ear friends yet. I can't remember if it was long ears. I think Elle knows somebody that saw him around this time a year ago, which would be cool. And I still haven't seen a great horned owl. I think those are like the quote unquote easier ones to see in our area. I mean, obviously, I got lucky to see the same snowy owl like 150 miles away from where we first saw him.
Yeah.
And that was pretty wild. But yeah, so that was pretty
Great
cool.
shots. Love it.
Yeah, had a good time. I think birds are really rad, but owls are just way cooler.
Yeah. All right. So Rail Jam was cool. I talked about having shot this on the last episode, but I think I just I starred way too many, and so I overwhelmed myself with how many I ended up wanting to edit, and so it took me a little longer, but we got through it. I haven't posted these yet, so this is the first look, really.
Is this 16? Is this 16 by 9?
It might be 2 by 1.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Man, I infected your brain.
You did. I don't do everything 2 by 1, but I do love the panoramic look.
It's nice.
It is, yeah.
It's perfect for the shot. This is like, you could not have composed this better for 2 to 1. Like, this is great. Like,
Yeah.
super cool.
I can't remember. Do you have lens data on that? I can't remember because there was a couple times where I think I started off with the TT Artisan 21 millimeter and was manually focusing, and it didn't take me long to switch over to the 50 millimeter.
This is the 102 mil on the 28 to 105.
105. Okay.
ISO 900. Is that auto ISO? It's so weird.
I do auto ISO for a lot of work, and it'll go between. Yeah, I didn't use the 28 to 105 for very long. Once it started getting darker, I switched over to the 1.4, the 50 1.4.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And just I had a blast. Especially with the ZF and the 21 millimeter. I don't know if you have any shots there. I don't think you have any shots of the 21, but I was using some of the film recipes that I have on that body, and just that was fun to manually focus with that and walk around as prep was happening. And then with the 51.4, we got started as things got dark.
Dude, we are spoiled. This 12,800 would have been like,
I know.
This was what like 800 ISO looked like on my old Canon DSLRs.
Yeah, that might be like 20 on noise. Not much at all.
But it's like super usable.
And it's so, I mean, it just had so much fun. Like the year prior, it was just, where do I go to set up to get the action at 50 millimeters? Because where a lot of people were standing would have been too far for a lot. Yeah. And I did bop around a little bit, but those first 2 shots with me up by the rail, that's really where I wanted to be to get some action. But I had to wait a long time because that specific rail, they built up higher than the year prior and made it a lot harder to actually grind on that rail, and so it was really rare for them to come up that way. So I got a couple of shots and then bailed on that spot because it was not getting other action than that.
Yeah.
So I walked around, and really it was just so much fun to shoot this and see them go buck wild on these little jumps, and the same fun as last year. It was so super cold, and I wish I brought the Tindens instead of the Markovs, but I roast coffee in a building right next to where this happened, so I was able to bop in the building for a couple minutes at a time and warm back up and get back out there. But man, the Z8 performs like a beast. The 51.4 did just fine.
Yeah.
It's not the sharpest lens by any stretch, but I got images I like.
Yeah, not needed for this. Still super epic. Yeah.
Yeah. The hardest part about shooting this stuff is like the action moves so fast. Like trying to control the highlights against the subject. I often I had to just either let shadows be black or let highlights be white. But as long as the subject is good, then that's all that really mattered, right?
Dude, just like gnarly lights with a bunch of snow, and that's super challenging at nighttime. Yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah, at nighttime. But like this scenario, I mean, imagine if I was either at 85 or 135 instead of on this picture specifically. Like,
Yeah, that would have
you
been
pull it
sweet.
closer, you get nearly the same amount of light, right? The
Yeah.
compression is different. You blow the background out a little bit more. Still, the image is cool, but I can't wait for next year to use the new lenses on this.
Yeah, for sure. Especially dual wielding, one of those
Yeah.
longer, one of those longer primes is just super clutch. No, Jacob.
Right. Yeah. So I had a bunch of fun. I think I edited like 400 shots, but I didn't need to. I didn't need to edit all those. I could have really boiled it down to like 20 that I really liked.
Yeah, no, it's super awesome, man. And we
Yeah.
got these last two photos as well.
Yeah. So this is my wife, Lisa. She wanted to do this shoot, and she's been wanting to do this shoot for a long time. Because we have this like big clawfoot tub in our bathroom upstairs, and she's been showing me like this like grunge themed like tub shoots that she's been wanting to do. And finally we had some time today to go and get a couple of things for this shoot. I needed a couple like lights. We got some decor, even though these two shots don't show any of that.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
got like a lamp that we used to help direct some light. I used also a couple of my little modular lights, and that helped. I was going to use the Godox flash, but I didn't end up going down and needing it because I was able to work out what we needed without it. But this shot, actually, the one where she's standing,
Yeah.
I noticed the sunset just started poking out, and so this is actually the sunlight coming through the window in front of her, and it's just like this strip of light, like, I don't know, from the top of your head down to like mid chest level, where it's just golden.
Yeah.
So these two shots were actually JPEGs off of the ZF. This one is with the 85, I think.
This
Or
is
no,
this is the 28.
Tamron.
Yeah, yeah.
And the other one is with the 85.
Yeah.
And both of them, like lens-wise, lenses look good. We just had fun with this theme that she wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with the ZF, I used both of these on the ZF. I had been kind of lurking around there's a Nikon ZF subreddit for a while, and there's a dude in there who uploads under the pseudonym Film Still, and he creates recipes for Nikon's imaging cloud, and they're film still recipes that emulate film looks, obviously, and he's got like a dozen or so of them that he's been like slow rolling them out, making them and like publishing like what he shot, and then like go here to my Instagram and you can download the NP3 link and you can use them too, and they look fantastic. So I went and downloaded all of them and just loaded them onto the ZF before we did that shoot. And so those two JPEGs are with it's like documentary chrome look or something like that. Basically the blues are desaturated out of that.
Sure.
And I had a great time shooting with that, and I look forward to walking around and using that as well. But
Yeah.
that's what I was able to do between Railjam and shooting literally just today.
Yeah, heck yeah. Definitely cool. I'm glad we got some images from those new lenses in here as well.
Yeah, me too.
So before I get too sickly, I am a little sick. We're doing this live. I wasn't sure we were going to shoot tonight, but it's late, and we decided to do it. We have a giveaway.
We do.
We did a giveaway. Vallerret Gloves is a legend for agreeing to do a cool little giveaway with our tiny little community. That, we're small but mighty, damn it. So I did the grueling task of collecting names and making sure that you guys followed the page that all you had to do was like and follow 2 pages. We didn't even
fired up.
We didn't even make you follow Korey, Bartos, or David Sargent. It wasn't needed. Some of you did, which was cool.
You did. I did notice.
Got some of you. Pretty cool. So I had to nix your name if you didn't follow one of us. So sorry, guys. Some of you who liked the photo definitely didn't even read the caption because they weren't the type of person that looked like they wanted a giveaway. They were like very accomplished photographers who probably followed Vallerret. Very cool. Checked out some really sick photographers.
There are some really talented people who follow Vallerret.
Yeah, and I think we actually got one Vallerret community member who submitted an image,
cool.
which was pretty cool, which we'll get to very shortly. But so I crossed my T's, dotted my I's. Those of you who submitted today got 2 entries, and I random number generated a winner. That winner, it's not even live. I don't know why I'm being so anticipatory. Taylor Washburn from New Mexico. It was going to be one of mine or David's friends. Like, our community friends are like in it, and they like all our stuff, and they share all our stuff. And
it's about the extent of our reach, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, no, we have some cool community members who are not our friends either.
That's true.
Yes, you know, Harry submitted some stuff from the UK again this week, and
wonderful.
So we got some cool stuff. But yeah, so it was cool. I know he'll utilize them well. So we'll get his information. Basically, I think we'll probably just CC him on an email, and get him in.
We could probably reply back to the email, right? And then just get them together.
He submitted, and he liked and all that.
Perfect.
So all good, but very cool. He actually submitted a drone photo for his Wintry submission. So without further ado, thank you guys for being involved in our little community. We're going to keep it going. This is just the beginning, as everybody likes to say. I mean, I think we're beyond the point where like people wonder if we're going to keep at it or not when we're at like, this is episode 64.
In like year 3, right?
Yeah, year 3. So, you know,
we are committed,
and we're doing pretty good. I think. What is this, the 3rd episode this year, or is this just 2? I don't know, but we're gonna.
I think this is the 3rd.
I want to break 100 this year. I want to do enough episodes to actually hit 100, which will be hard work. We're gonna have to probably double up on some weeks and stuff, but I think we'll be able to do it.
I want to do it.
So we're gonna get into the photo share, but thanks again, everybody who was involved. I'd love to, and I probably, once we start getting this baking a little bit, I think I'm going to try and put a little bit of, little dollars aside. Maybe I'll sell some things here and there, and we can put together our own giveaways too, which will be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd like to, especially with some of the more useful small items. I know how tough it is out there to get other gear, to try stuff. It'd be really cool to give away some old vintage lenses. I usually like come across those, play with them for a while, and then they get, collecting dust, and I don't care about them. But it'd be cool to pass some of that stuff on to you guys. But all right, Taylor, good work. We'll be in contact in the next 24 hours, and we'll get you linked up with Vallerret.
Congratulations. Now let's look at some images.
Indeed. So, the Wintry Photo Share. Let's get into it. These are in alphabetical order. So we talked Eric into sending some in. He's, got children and he's a busy boy, but he sent me 2 Google Photos folders and said, go ahead and choose which ones you guys want to talk about.
Cool.
So I did grab a few because I am the way I am. Any day birding when you can get a hooded.
It's a good day.
Awesome. And that's a little buffle, I think, next to him. Which is sweet. That looks like a buffle head. I can see the iridescence. Yep, but pretty cool. I don't have the info right in front of me, but I'm pretty sure this is with his A1. But just gorgeous. Winter.
I love when you get these ducks like this with the falling snow. Just added ambience, I love it.
And you'd be tempted to crop this, right? Except it's really cool that you can see these geese and all this stuff going on here.
You're right. Those are geese, aren't they?
Yeah. It's just kind of nice. This might even be a swan. This could be a tundra swan. He could have a lifer right here, and he doesn't even know it.
Maybe. But the hoodies are always nice to play with.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
I thought this was a really good... like, there's no way this is like a stage shot. Like, he's just hunting, but it's like perfect. It's like so commercial in the best way. Like,
that is
just
fresh out the water, isn't
it? Yeah, happy accident collecting. If you're not into hunting, like, I get it, especially if you're not from America. We're Midwest boys, so you like could throw a stick and hit one of my friends or friends' parents or like somebody in my community who's like really embedded in hunting. Yeah. So it's just like a really big deal in the Midwest, especially birds and whitetail.
And if you follow Eric and see his stories, he's cooking this stuff up all the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's follow all these guys, but yeah, if you're into that kind of thing, Eric has some really cool stuff.
And especially look at the smile on his face.
Yeah.
Just like What a good day, right?
That's what you want. That's
Yeah.
a W right there.
Great shots.
And then I chose a dog.
Oh, nice. Yes, yes. Of
um,
course.
he invited me out to photograph some bird dogs training. I'm gonna try and get in on that
Oh, definitely.
eventually because it'd be so fun. But
Absolutely.
if you're not a dog person to the level that I'm kind of a dog person, I've had like 70 in my life. I've rescued, I've bred, I've done all the things. Um, there's people forget that work dogs. It's not work for work dogs. It's their existence, and it's what they like need to do to actually like not go crazy and be happy.
Right.
Labs, retrievers, some of the biggest family dogs ever are still kind of working dogs, and training them to do something that gets that like part of their brain activated really on high levels is super important if you like really care about your animals.
Yes.
That education is still so not normalized, and I need it to be. Like I know people with huskies and Malinois who aren't dog people,
Right.
and it's like, wow, well, I don't want to think about how those pups have a horrible existence, but they do, like objectively. um, Even if they're loved super well and they're taken care of or whatever, like you got to run a Malinois like 6 times a day minimum, and maybe you're starting to work up an appetite for what it likes to do. But this
It's
is
in their
gorgeous.
genes to keep them healthy mentally,
Yeah.
emotionally, physically. It's that they got to do it.
Yeah. But look at this pup. This pup nailed it.
As a happy dog.
We just love that.
Nice. Thank you, Eric.
Everybody loves some texture on snow falling. If you haven't shot in the snow and you're okay, maybe if you don't have like weather sealed stuff, don't like push it, but you can pretty much shoot in light snow regardless of what you have these days.
Yeah.
If you're trying to do like portraits of a friend or like a partner or something, go out as soon as the first snow hits every year, the big fluffy awesome first snow, and you'll get these beautiful textures. And this is why wintry photography rules outside of it being miserable, because we need something.
Oh,
Here's more from our pal Harry. I really need to pull up these emails because
oh, you should. Yeah.
it apparently snowed once all year for him. And
he's in the UK. Yeah.
Yeah. And he cranked out the best he could. He even mentioned how I don't trust horses in this, which was cute. But he said that this capture made me late for work that morning. It suddenly started, and I was just about to leave and thought I could get away with a few pics, which is like, what a snowfall. Again, what I'm talking about. Like that first
snow.
Yeah, that first snowfall hits so different. And then you got your horse in a jacket, and
it just looks great too.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's like some intentional coloring going on here, but I love the look.
Yeah, I mean it's morning, first thing in the morning, so it's just like nice morning light. Gorgeous. Another one from Harry here. The black and white image is from that night.
Nice.
It had stopped snowing in the day, and suddenly it all came at once. I got back frozen and soaked through feeding the horses, grabbed my camera, and went straight out to get some images from my town, Hickley, in the snow. Which is, if you don't get snow, this is a magical scene, right? Like if snow's not your everyday norm in the winter, it's like, that's beautiful. Yeah. I'm sure that felt awesome.
Yeah, if you don't get it, that's such a magical feeling. You're right. But now here in Marquette,
you're like
freaking sick of it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And then, he had to throw in the pups for me.
Yeah.
Pepper's in the orange harness and Pudding is in the pink harness.
That looks like a lot of fun.
And and the last of the snow the next morning before it all melted, but still lovely. All the lightened colors, and it can really change your landscape. So it's cool to be able to, especially if you live in the UK, where he said it basically rained the whole time,
of course,
and it's just all dead. And that it's like this was probably a day of life.
Yeah, no kidding.
So I'm with that. It's pretty good.
Thank you, Harry.
Yeah, thanks for submitting, Harry. And as always, like all of these images and all these people's Instagrams will be in the description. So go give them a follow and check out some of their work.
Yeah.
This is your buddy Jacob.
Yeah.
Very cool. I have to assume, is this film? The next one is film.
He does shoot a lot of film. I would not be too surprised.
It kind of, you could convince me that this was like flash film.
I think he's got an A6000. I think he's got a Canon R, and then he shoots a bunch of film. So I would not be too surprised.
Fair enough. Oh, nope. This is a Canon. This is 37 mil ISO 8000, dang.
Yeah.
On something.
I saw him post a bunch of these in his stories. He does a lot of like work for brands. Like he'll get like, so I think this is maybe the hat that they're doing. He was doing some work with this hat company. I could be wrong, but he got somebody to do some snowboarding. I'm not sure where he went, but that looks so fun.
That looks, he's at 37 mil. This dude hit him.
He's close. He's close.
Like this dude smacked into him directly after this photo was taken.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool shot. Love an action shot.
For some stuff like that. He does all kinds of things. So thank you, Jacob, for sharing that.
Yeah, and this next one's beautiful that he shared. So this is film. This is clearly a scan. But
that's great.
Yeah.
Did he say anything about these?
I don't think he did, unfortunately, because they're
I'd
epic.
like to know more about this because I don't know if I've seen this one before, and I really like it.
He said winter. That's all he said.
Okay, all right.
But
Jacob, I'm gonna ask you about that shot later.
Yeah, I'd love to know where it is and what it is too. But just freaking money. I always forget when I'm trying to finish a film roll that I should try and do some landscapes with film because it just hits so freaking hard.
I want to know like what lens this is because it looks so good where he focused and so soft back there, you know?
Yeah,
that looks
cool.
So nice. It's dreamy.
We love it. That's Songbird Trail. Oh, it says in the title.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's not too far. Yep.
But super good. Here we got one from Kurt. We got a black and white. This is epic. This is so cool. This
is there something sitting on the ice out there?
I don't know.
Is there like I think like a little? Maybe I'm wrong.
Just ice.
Oh, okay, just ice.
Superior and Presque Isle.jpg. Yeah. This is giving the infrared scenes from Dune 2 on the Harkonnens planet. But super cool, tons of texture.
I'm not sure where this is. I'm guessing somewhere around Black Rocks with the trees and stuff around it. Yeah. But yeah, this is kind of the scene we've got right now. A little barren out there, but I wouldn't go walking on it.
Yeah, for sure. Looks awesome though. I don't often do these in black and white. Like snowy stuff like this, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice background.
Ooh.
So this is McCann. Travis, right?
Travis, yes, Travis. Yep.
So that's a 24-120 f10 base ISO 64. This is sweet. This looks infrared. Is this infrared?
I was just gonna ask if that was an infrared conversion. Yeah, I don't think he has like infrared converted bodies, so this might be like a post-production thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He's out in, I think he's in Oregon, if I'm not mistaken, or in that area. So he's got like lots of rolling hills that he shoots, and I've got a shot of his that he sent me a few years ago before we moved here of these like mountain, they're like hills, but like a storm with a lightning bolt coming down between these two mountain peaks, and it's gorgeous. I love that shot. So he's very good with these like rolling hills landscapes, and I love what he does. And he's got a YouTube channel that's nice. It's a photography vlog channel.
Or yeah, I'll have to put that in the description as well. Do you know what body this is? This is 7,980 by 4489. It's a huge image.
I think he's got Nikon bodies. I want to say,
is that the Z8?
I don't think he's got the Z8.
Or would this be a D? Oh,
I think he might still be using the D850 and has like maybe a Z5 for the vlogging. So I'm not sure if it's one or the other.
That's fair. It is the 24-120 f4. So that's a DSLR lens. It could be that.
So D850 probably.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's a gorgeous shot. I love it.
It's epic. It's really hard to find for me. It's really hard for me to find something so wide and kind of like mostly barren, but then still have that much interest in it. It's super nice. Like having the darker clouds is nice, but just like it's interesting. The
light is helping kind of centralize your focus on the middle plane and of course the grouping of trees. So I think he found a good place, but he found the right time too.
Yeah, sometimes you just know.
Yeah.
That's called good composition, friends, because I would have shot the same scene and it probably wouldn't have been as good.
He's skilled at that.
Rufa.
Rufa.
This is wild. I really, really wanted to see some of Miles's stuff, but I'm glad we got some of this ice stuff, because I have to imagine this is up north, right?
I don't know where this is.
But
I haven't seen this from her.
she also just like leaves sometimes.
She does go a lot of places, but like when she goes places, I don't think she goes to other icy wonderlands.
I know. That's why I have to assume it's up north. So
I'm gonna ask her where this is because I've not seen this before. Can you zoom in? Can I
yeah,
see who's in the middle there? I'm trying to because she's got a yellow coat too. Oh, it must not be super high resolution.
yeah, it's
That's
not.
okay. Oh man, I'm gonna ask her where this is because that's crazy.
Yeah, like this is insane, absolutely insane.
It's a cool shot.
Um,
That light is gorgeous too.
yeah,
Hmm.
super epic. She's super talented. Definitely go follow her stuff. She does like some wicked drone things, but like
She uses the drone a lot. She does a lot of astro, but she's been getting more into just like general landscapes. She's so talented. Yeah.
yeah, good stuff. I have a. I think it might even be the 135. I think I have a photo of her on Sugarloaf
Oh, you might.
with my 135 that I think is awesome.
She
The
did
compression's just super dope, and yeah.
nice.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Now this image is
my
from. Hold on, what's this man's name? I need to find this man's name. Stig Floberhagen.
It sure is.
So I looked at his thing. He said like greetings. He's a Vallerret user. He says regards from a Vallerret user from Norway.
Norway.
And first of all, this is epic.
It's amazing.
I took a peek at his page, and he's got just a bunch of awesome images. But yeah, this is otherworldly wintry photography. I don't know what's happening in post here. It's Norway, and we know this guys in Norway are crazy. So like this could be anything, but it's unreal. It's gorgeous.
Just of course, I would love to visit some of those countries, even at this time of year, to go from a winter hellscape to another is quite the idea. But of course, you'd want to go to those places for like Northern Lights and stuff. But to know that they've got landscapes like this is gorgeous. And it takes a skilled photographer like some of these others we've seen to know where to go, but more importantly, when to go. And he found the right time to.
Yeah, I don't even know what to make of this. Like the amount of snow on these trees is crazy.
We get this sometimes. This definitely with like lake effect, where there's like a high humidity or high dew point, and so things get really wet. And then as soon as it cools down a little bit more, things get really sticky, and it starts to pile on.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's what happened here.
Yeah, just heavy as heck, like big snowflakes, just like. But it almost looks kind of barren on the outsides of it. Like it doesn't. I don't know. This is crazy. Super cool. Super different.
Beautiful.
So thank you for you didn't follow us, so you couldn't have been added to the thing. But I appreciate this anyway. He might not even watch. He has great images though. We'll tag him. He's
probably has all the gloves too anyway.
yeah. He from a Valorant user. It's cool.
Yeah.
So this is Taylor's submission. This is the skyline of Santa Fe with his drone.
Look at that beautiful golden light casting through.
And so this is just after a fresh snow. So you can see actually there's snow on all of this.
Santa Fe?
Santa Fe, New Mexico, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Which gets a lot of snow. The elevation's something over 7,000.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah. Dan Milner lives out there, a Shifter Media on YouTube. I've talked about him a lot on this channel. Okay. And he'll post when it's snowing its butt off, but it's high elevation, so they'll get them for sure, especially in those hills and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
this is the reason why I would like also carry the 500 in the bag if I know I'm going somewhere that can have this kind of like viewing distance, and you get this kind of light. I'd be like sniping those little crevices where the light is creeping.
Yep. All this right here and right here, these peaks like through.
But of course, you want the wide shot. You want the whole scene too.
For sure.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah, and just super epic. I mean, I don't know how high the drone was for this shot, but we love I need to take my drone out just a little bit more. I'm not a huge drone guy, but it's fun. It can be.
They are fun to use. I've got a Mini 2 from years ago that I still just. It's just fun. You charge it up and you go, and you never know sometimes what you're gonna get.
Yeah, that's what I got too, a Mini as well. Okay, thanks Taylor. Thank you again for winning and doing some stuff. He's a good dude.
Very cool.
This is sweet. So this is Jason.
Oh, Jason, yes.
And I like this because what do you guys call it? Orhenge or whatever?
Or this is the Ordoc,
The
yeah.
Ordoc, yeah. Oh, sorry, the one with the light. That image was
Oh,
called
that's Orhenge.
Orhenge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the sun coming through. Yep.
yeah. So the Ordoc is a character on this channel because a lot of you guys are up there shooting,
Yeah.
but no one has posted an Ordoc photo like this
Yeah.
on our channel. So it's a totally different. It's super wide, insanely wide. I don't know what it was because it's 0 millimeters.
Oh, what does he have? Is it like a 10 millimeter fisheye or something like
Yeah,
that?
it's got to be a crazy fisheye, but it looks wild.
Yeah, there was only a few days where you could really safely, like around the time people were skating, and I might have shared some of those on a previous episode.
For sure, yeah.
Skating around this area, people were also walking to, into, and through the Ordoc,
Nice.
and it's pretty rare to be able to say that you were able to do that, and so people like Jason were able to go in there and take some shots from inside. I never did that, and I'm not gonna say I regret not doing that because I didn't even know you really could, but I knew that they did after the fact, and now I'm seeing this shot maybe for the first time. I think I might have saw others of his on his Instagram. Just like what a cool perspective, you know?
Yeah, it's sweet, especially for something that's so iconic for your area.
Yeah.
It's always cool to see something you know really intimately in a way you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, super cool. And then obviously just leaning into perspective when you're having a fisheye, like it's gonna warp like crazy, but it just makes it feel massive in there. And it is huge. It's massive
It's like
if you've
100 feet up.
yeah, if you've never been, but this makes it look just monolithic.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
And it's cool to see like the snow fall as he's inside of it. You know?
It looks like it's ripping, man. It looks like it's like actually really coming down. So
it is whipping through there.
I don't know what little fisheye this was, but it did the job. It's pretty
Very,
cool.
very cool.
Um,
Thanks for sharing, Jason.
yeah, and I guess this is a decent time to plug. Is the interview that you did with him going to go up soon?
Yeah, I was kind of just waiting to see what our schedule for shooting this episode was.
Sure.
Anytime I would love to. I would love to publicize, but I wanted to start doing a little bit more video work and thought what a good idea it might be to start an interview series. And so I pulled Jason aside, and with Kurt's with the ability to get inside Second Story Studio, Kurt came in on a day off and unlocked the studio for us so that we could sit down and for about I want to say 50 minutes, I put together a series of questions and asked Jason all about him and his photography, his introduction to art. I think it's a great series of questions and answers. I myself have been shooting since 2011, 2012, and him not so long, or not as long as me, but I thought he's so creative. He shoots abstract a lot, but he's also a second part of him is much more direct in trying to like document. And so I thought it was interesting to find where that balance lies for him. So I will be doing more. I thought I could start with those of us who are in the Secret Society of the Finch, the photography club that I'm in.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of us. So if you like the video, I plan to do more. And Tony has an exhibit in the studio right now. So I am going to sit down with him tomorrow and film another one. And so there will be at least two to watch, but I will publish Jason's interview maybe tonight.
Sure. Sweet.
Yeah.
Or I guess that means this will be out. That means it'll be out now.
It might be out by the time you hear this.
Yeah. So
take a look.
So yeah, take a look. It'll be cool. It'll be up on his channel, and we'll have it in a collaboration on the Light Overtime channel too. So you'll be able to find it pretty easy. Yeah, should be pretty cool. Yeah. I didn't listen to the whole thing yet, but I listened to the first handful of minutes, and yeah, it's cool stuff.
And the Jason who I interviewed is who took the shot, so right. I appreciate you, Jason.
Yeah, heck yeah. All right, moving right along to Tony's images, who you're talking to tomorrow.
Oh yeah, is this from Apostle Island? Does he say?
It says ice caves.
It must be.
So yeah.
He went recently. Did he say anything else? I don't want to speak for him. If
I don't actually know. I got to pull that back up. Sorry, I'm slacking over here. You can continue talking if you want to.
He recently went to Apostle Islands. I think I don't remember exactly where that is. I've heard people talk about it, but it's a few hours drive from us. And if he's got the story to tell, I'd like it to come from his words. But if not, I can kind of recollect his experience as he told it to us. But
yeah, well, he didn't say a ton, but yeah, you're right. He says, so these are from the Apostle Islands Ice Caves trip that I took. Quite the story behind this trip, if you're ever interested. I'm not the only photographer who went through a struggle, though. You can pick which of these two you like most. I couldn't decide, which is great. Congrats again on the giveaway. Keep up the great work.
I'll try to give you the brief and dirty on that story. He got up early. He drove, I want to say it was like 4 hours. And this is a special moment because kind of like being able to walk into the ore dock, this is the first time, and I want to say, I can't remember, it might not be what I'm remembering, but I want to say it was like 11 years since you could walk to these ice caves at Apostle Islands here.
Dang.
And so unlike Eben ice caves that's close to us in the UP here, that's kind of reliably able to shoot every winter. This one you have to you got to really work to get to these ice caves, and literally the next day they all the ice was washed away. The lake got a little bit crazy. It warmed up just a little bit, and you could not get to these caves again. So 11 years to have one day to do this. And when he drove 4 hours to get there, I don't know exactly how long he waited, but there was a line of photographers. I mean, I don't know. It looked like, he sent me one picture, and it looked like hundreds of people were at a standstill. And I think it was, I don't know for sure, but I think they had to wait for someone to take them there. And so there were groups of people, and he waited in line for hours.
Wow, that's
hours
crazy.
And hours before he could get to this location. Look at the scale. Look. I've not seen the shot. Look at the person in this, and I mean this. Oh, it's a little guy.
Yeah,
it's a little guy. The pictures I've seen make it look cool, but this is an awesome shot because you got the scale of a person there.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's his story. He really worked to get there. He committed to the drive. He went by himself.
Dang.
And when he sent in the group chat for the Finches the shot of all those people waiting, I was like, you got to tell us how worth it this was.
Yeah.
But I would say just based on these shots and this, knowing the scale of that, I would have been happy,
Yeah, I mean it's pretty epic, especially if it's so rare, right? That's
the next day it was inaccessible. Yeah, one day in 11 years. Oh my gosh,
Tony, this is such a good shot. This is awesome.
I love this shot.
Yeah, this is awesome. Good work, man. Definitely made it worth it. And this is cool because this is the 25 to 50. I flirt with wanting this lens all the time.
He loves it.
Yeah, I know he loves it, and he gets great images with it. The thing that I think, and this is the 20 mil. The thing that bugs me about it is I believe it's collapsed. It's 50, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I guess I never would have noticed.
Yeah, so it's 50, and then when you zoom out, it's 24.
That's even weirder than Tamron.
Yeah, it's well, and it's not zooming out, right? It extends the barrel or whatever, but I don't. It's a block. I need to use it. Maybe I'll try to get a loaner from Sony and play with it, but but
imagine if the kid wasn't there. I mean, it'd still be a cool shot, but oh my gosh, that gives you the full picture. You know?
Don't imagine this doesn't tell me anything.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's really what it takes, especially with composition. That's why you always see people throw their friend in a frame for landscape. That's why a lot of the stuff that you guys have done on Black Rocks worked out so well, just because you go out with each other, so you can kind of throw each other in your frame, and it works really well.
Yeah,
we've always
context is so important.
Yeah, and it makes it human, right? Too it's ends up not being okay. This especially nowadays. Oh, cool! This could be like a wallpaper that was generated. Generate me some red rocks with ice on it. But then you just get a little bit more. That's awesome, man. I really need to mess around with that lens, especially for if you want a zoomy landscape lens, because it's a Sony G, so it's probably pretty sharp and it's probably pretty well corrected. But if you're above 2.8 anyway, all the time, man, that's sick.
It's pretty small, yeah.
It's super small, yeah. It's tiny. I mean, he had his 20 mil too, and those both are microscopic lenses for how nice they are. The 20 mil 1.8's epic.
I loved that lens.
I know you did. I did too. I kind of miss it. So these last two are from me. I chose
Oh,
some.
nice.
So this is Chris Walden. I work with him at Detroit Gunworks. He's actually calling. So in this image, he's working with one of his new snipers. He's on a sheriff's department sniper team,
Cool.
and his affectionately he calls Joe his sniper pup because he's getting him spun up, and he's a good shooter. But he got a Detroit Gunworks gun, and they're getting it sighted in for an FBI qualification
Cool.
that they did a week later or something, or 2 weeks later or something. And I was driving to Jaegerworks, and he's in between Lansing and Kalamazoo, so I stopped at his little range where he was doing some work with this guy, and snapped a handful of photos. And like again, I just can't say enough about what adding a little snowfall into a shot does.
Seriously.
This is the 70 to 200. Right here, I'm at 180 mil. I try when I'm setting, I guess, to frame kind of my photography, especially when I'm using the 70 to 200. And I can tell you, oh, no, I can't tell you because it's downscaled. I'm pretty sure this is my A7 CR. And especially when I know that I'm trying to make something for not just social, but this could go on the website for some reason. This could go on a bunch of other things. I try to never, Jared Polin it, and I try not to crop. I try to make sure that I really get it right. So that's usually when you'll see me at like 180. Cool. Otherwise, I'll just crank that thing and back up because I want as much compression as possible. But yeah, so
Nice shot.
Just spotting in pretty good. And then here's Joe listening to him call out something when he's done, and just a little focus on the Detroit Gunworks stuff right here. So
I like the connection between the two images, and that you're able to give us that context.
Yeah. So and this is a set of like 10. I just didn't want to include a bunch. But
what tripod is that?
It's a Vortex.
Nice.
Vortex Optics is like a low key. I guess I'm wearing a Vortex Optics hat. So they make the binos that L uses for birding. They make our spotting scopes. I have a bunch of their scopes on stuff. We met those guys and went out to their Wisconsin headquarters last December, which I think I talked about briefly, but incredible people. They make all sorts of stuff from rangefinders. They make like gun scopes, and they're really big in the hunting scene and stuff. But like as far as good multi-use Arca tripods and like spotting scopes and stuff for birding, they're just so legendary, and their stuff can go on sale really really simply. Even their really low end binos are really good. I think
Where are they based?
Wisconsin.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And the company is like over 20 years old, but the owner is the son of the original owner. The CEO right now is the son of the original owner. And then the handful of guys at the top have all been there the whole time. It's very family oriented feeling. Like when we got there, they like treated us like we were just friends that they've known forever. It was super Midwest feeling. It was really nice. And they've grown the company to 450 employees.
Oh, cool.
It's massive. They like run the town they're in. Like everybody knows who they are because it's they used to be around Madison or whatever, but now they're kind of out in a little bit of nowhere, Barneveld or something like that. And but yeah, really cool guys. So they support us a lot over at Detroit Gunworks, and even my own like birding and stuff. Actually, I'm gonna kind of talk about this one real quick. So they make these really big spotting scopes, and they're super, super nice. Their Razor line, which is their highest line of glass quality, and then they have like Viper, Diamondback, whatever. That's just the names of them. But the glass is made, and the highest level is like Japan Optics, and some of those companies that basically everybody get their glass from Japan from. And then I think it trickles down to kind of a little bit lower tier Japanese glass. I think there's probably some Filipino glass and then some Chinese glass. This little guy is tiny. It's a 13 to 39 zoom spotting scope.
Oh.
So it's crazy, like 39x optical zoom on this little guy. Super handy when we're trying to find. We took that out when we were trying to look for the Caracara. It's I have it on this little lightweight carbon fiber tripod, so we can just like chuck it in the back of the car. It comes with a neoprene like cover and everything on it, and
Cool.
it's super well protected. But yeah, when I got into my shooting sports, I was already a Vortex guy, but then being able to meet those guys and them to, they supported our booth and everything at SHOT Show and everything like that. I have nothing but good things to say about those dudes. They're super, super awesome. Some of the most down-to-earth people I've ever met in the industry. And they support birding and stuff too, as well as everything else. So,
well, that's cool. I asked because the tripod looks sick, and I was like, that doesn't look like Really Right Stuff or Gitzo or anything like that. I've never seen that logo before, other than now that you mention it, your hat.
Yeah, I have a lot of Vortex hats. But yeah, so they make some pretty good stuff. And like I would say I've been happy with the quality of that tripod up against things like the Really Right Stuff and whatnot. Wow. It's pretty quality.
It looks somewhat similar to my FLM, but it kind of looks like nicer. I'm not sure how to otherwise describe it, but it looks like carbon fiber too.
Yep. Yeah. They really kind of locked in their like premium feeling stuff. Like it's awesome.
In Wisconsin, not too far. It'd be nice to have like an American-made tripod on the camera.
I don't know if those ones are made in America. They would be a lot more expensive. They have stuff made in every price bracket, basically.
Gotcha.
But what was really cool is like we were getting into like, so the nerdy stuff that relates to the camera world is there's one place in America that makes American glass. This is why you don't see lenses that are American made. It's prohibitively expensive to do. The British Royal Marines and the SAS recently did a contract with Vortex on a scope. I actually have one on one of my rifles, which is insane. I did not pay for that scope. It's prohibitively expensive. But it's a truly 100% American made rifle scope.
Wow.
And it has, the glass is made in Indiana. It's insanely expensive. They did all the anodization inside their headquarters. I literally was in the area. They showed me basically top down, other than the glass, the erector tube, everything that they did to make this scope. We got to look at all of it. And they're talking about tolerances in machining that are in microns, like plus or minus 10 microns, which is insane.
Yeah.
So it's cool that they have that capability. And even down to like something like $100 red dot optic that is produced in China, and then they like get it and they do what they're doing with it. They had to recall some screws, and instead of like dealing with trying to source all that stuff, they literally have Swiss machines. It was insanely expensive to do it this way, but they wanted to do it fast, and they actually spit out a better set of screws for all of these red dots, and then replaced like 10,000 units worth of screws.
Oh my god!
Because they're like they're a customer service company.
Sure.
And it's so important to them. They have one of the best warranties ever. They call it the VIP warranty. You can literally spike like this scope on the ground in front of them and they'll fix it for you.
Jeez.
Don't do that. I mean, they might go, no, I'm not. Why would we? That was insane. Hyperbole. But like they really take care of you when your stuff breaks, and it's hard not to want to, represent a Midwestern company with, good ideals and customer service and stuff. So
sure.
Anyway, that was my definitely paid shill, thing of Vortex, but that's big family for me. So
that's all right.
Yeah. Anyway, that was epic. I love when we have just like very different images. I was really expecting some kind of like really off the wall stuff. It's a shame we didn't get like.
I think I was too.
Like, sorry, I spent my entire winter in Bermuda or something, and it was like a beach and something crazy, or somebody from like, I don't know, the middle of the Philippines or something would have been really fun. But
winter is winter wherever you are, right?
Right. Yeah. So it'd be like, it's also really funny in places like Dubai or something where they don't get it like that. You'll have like Santa stuff, and it's like, it's the summer desert right now. Why? I really like that kind of stuff, but oh well.
All right.
I enjoyed looking at your guys' stuff as always. It's neat to take the time. When we take the time, it forces David and I to sit here and take the time.
Yeah.
To go, let's appreciate some images that we would look at, and we all process like content so fast. We're like, oh yeah, that's really cool. Like, hey, nice work. Bye. But when I get to sit here and zoom in and zoom out, that's why I put it into Lightroom We try to talk about like the settings, what we like about, you know, some technical stuff and then some not so technical stuff. I think that's what it's all about, and it's cool to be able to do that. I'd like to. David's been a little better about it than me. I'd like to make sure that I have a couple of images of my own every episode because I think you guys just like that more. It gives us a little bit more context to base these conversations around. Those are my cats wrestling in the background if you're into that kind of thing.
And having the images keeps us from being too nerdy with gear stuff, you know?
Yeah, you know, and we'll still have our like, you know, our big release episodes where it's going to be really heavy because like stuff will be really exciting and everything. But it's all about making stuff. Yeah, so it's cool to be able to share that with you guys.
Thanks to everyone who submitted.
Yeah, thanks to everybody submitted who took a look at our things, who continues to even just, you know, poke around on our pages and like our stuff. If you've been listening for a long time and you're just a lurker, we love you too. I love a good lurker. You know, share this episode with your friends. We'd love to grow the channel. We'd love to grow the Discord. You guys are welcome if you're taking photos and you want to join along.
Some of you might be a little new here if you just submitted because you're looking at Vallerret helping us out here with this collab, but we do have a Discord where photographers are chatting away. So get a hold of us. Yeah. We'll send you a link.
Yeah, photo, video. If you're making stuff, we are down to chat. It can be helpful from a technical perspective. Sometimes people are working on a big project and they'll get some ideas in there. Sometimes you just want a place that's a little bit more personable to post some of your work. You can share it very freely. We have a share your stuff whole channel in there. You can, if you just like the gear, you can go in there and just talk gear. We can nerd out with you forever. Yeah. So there's a little bit of everything for anyone in there. And there's some kind of off the wall stuff. We got our fashion guys and our other little odds and ends in there. So
I can't remember who it was, but someone recently in the Discord posted like needing help for picking out gear between like some Fuji bodies and some Sony bodies. And, you know, maybe it's not the greatest thing for some listeners to get through the gear stuff before we look at images or whatever. But I love talking about that stuff, you know, trying to help somebody out, figure out what the best situation for them could be, trying to help someone not overspend, you know?
Yeah. It's easier and harder than it's ever been. Like on both extremes, it's worse than it's ever been because there's no clear cut like best thing to do, especially on a budget.
Oh my God, dude! My boss just texted me and was like, "Hey, she's going to Guatemala soon. She's like, what can I get for a couple $100?" And I'm like, you got it already.
A T2i or your phone.
You take your phone, and I'm like, you know what? Actually, I know because the type of person she is. I was like, go grab an Instax camera and just take some prints home from Guatemala because that will be infinitely more fun. Use your phone because you should, but you can't spend $200 and get something you'd really be happy with more than your phone these days.
For sure. And just the convenience of it so nuts. I take so many more images. And again, if you already pay for Lightroom and you're already taking photos, do yourself a favor. If you're trying to just take a quick image, open that thing in Lightroom Mobile, take that thing raw, and then edit your phone. Like your iPhone's raw photos are sick.
They can be real good.
And your normal camera, unless you just need to take a photo with like maximum like dynamic range and stuff and you want it to look super flat, I think most normal photos look so flat and awful. I hate photos coming out of but then you go in there, I can share with you dozens of photos that I think are awesome because I shot them like that and I edited them how I like to edit them. And then you're not just dealing with these super HDR flat images and stuff. Yeah. And those look awful to me. There's no depth. There's no like emotion to them. Like,
I would say that is a pro tip. If you can get into Lightroom Mobile and shoot from there, if you're trying to really get the most out of the sensor in your phone.
Yeah. If you're at that level, you don't have to be, you're still going to get sick images. We're talking about people who have high-end cameras and how they experience looking at a phone image. Cause there was a time where if I would just go, oh, let me grab my camera because like, why would I even bother taking this photo with my phone when it's going to be that bad? But now a lot of stuff, especially if it's just like little things, like little meal stuff that I do with Elle or whatever we're doing, I'm really happy with them. And then I developed my my old boy preset for my film stuff, and I run most of my cell phone stuff through it, and it does what I had hoped I would get from like the Ricoh or something.
Yeah.
And the Ricoh is going to be a higher quality photo every time.
Yeah.
But you're splitting that balance of convenience and what you're going to carry.
Mm-hmm.
And we always go back to the best camera you have is the one that you'll take.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely cool. I think we could probably spend an awful lot of time if we organized our thoughts on like best uses for like maximizing your phone as a photographer. Maybe I'll start looking into that because I think that'll be really helpful.
Wouldn't be a bad episode topic.
Yeah, could even be some content for you guys because I love it. I think it's, and there's other stuff like Snapseed's free and some other things, and if you can like figure it out and know what you're doing, that's the hard part, is like you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
I can go into Lightroom Mobile, editing photos like and going into Photoshop and doing all this like back and forth and all that stuff. It's not, I know what every button does. If I just look at the button, I know what it's doing.
Yep.
When you go in there and you don't, it's like
overwhelming.
Yeah, what am I looking at?
Maybe some of you don't know your phones can take raw format images, DNGs, in Lightroom Mobile. A Snapseed can edit DNG files, so you can get some pretty decent stuff.
There's a few options, yeah. And it's just so cool. It's such a huge unlock. If you're on an iPhone, generally you're going to want to use your main lens because the sensor on your main lens is the best one. You're not really going to get, you're going to think that you're going to do better on telephoto, rarely. And then that ultra wide is often not great unless you just want like, I'd say if you can have a ton of light, that's another thing with like the not standard lens. Because I've seen people get like landscapes on vacation or whatever with their ultra wide lens that like if I tried to take it with my, I'm not a landscape photographer. Landscape photographers know how to get what they need out of it so they can draw out their edit. But I've had people just snap with their ultra wide and I go, damn, I couldn't do that with my camera. Because sometimes it hits. Yeah. But that stuff's cool. We can continue talking about that for a million hours.
Yep.
I don't know. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here? What you're looking forward to?
I don't think so, man. I'm just gonna sit in my frustration, waiting for a 135, and on the next episode, I hope you'll hear me talk about it.
Yeah, it'll be cool. Make sure you do a lot of shooting.
Yeah.
I guess that answers the question I was going to ask, which was what are you hoping to do before the next episode?
Shoot with a 135.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll play more with the 85. I haven't had an 85 since the 85-1.8 FE lens when I first had my Sony A7 III, and kept that for a while. But I had my issues with that lens, with the optical quality on that, and this one feels quite a bit like a step up from that. But time will tell. Excited to use it, so I'll be playing with all these lenses.
Yeah, cool. Let me just double check one thing before we finish this episode, because I'm dangerously close to having no room for this episode.
Oh no.
On my computer. So while we're here, this is off the cuff, guys, but I'm gonna let it run. I'm going to empty my recycle bin.
Oh boy. We're playing in a danger zone now.
No, that should be plenty. By emptying that freed up 4 gigs. That should be good. I was in the process, again, here's your reminder, everyone, to go ahead and back up your photos and footage. I just added all the stuff that I haven't put on to my, after my woes a couple months ago, losing a bunch of data. Now, I think I have to triple check. I think I have all of my images from like 2015 to now on OneDrive. So as of
that sounded cursed to hear.
February. Well, they're in multiple spots right now.
Yeah.
So I still have them all, even if Jacob decides to throw this off of the mezzanine or whatever. But yeah, so I've consolidated it, I think.
Nice.
And it's a nice little peace of mind. I still need to figure out something better. And unfortunately, what I didn't do was save JPEGs or TIFFs from all of those years, which means a bunch of these, I just have the raw images and I don't have the exports. So I'll have to go back through. I'm thinking I'm going to figure out how to set this PC up as a master Lightroom catalog, get everything into it, and then I guess explore my history and see.
Re-edit? Ooh.
Oh, nice.
I think I died, guys.
All right, well, that's a good place to stop.
I would say so.
If you're still here, we love you. Hit us up in the Discord. Thanks again, everybody who submitted and got in on the giveaway. Congrats, Taylor, again for winning some gloves. We'll get you hooked up very soon. And until next time.
Goodbye.